Welcome in to another episode of our Sistas Keeper, the Tyler Perry Sistas unofficial live after show, hosted by your good sis you love to talk TV with. And Ellie, I don't think they can hear you, girl. Hold on now. Hold on. Of course, this would not be right if things were just going smoothly. Let me reset this real quick. Hold on now, Savannah. Hold on. Oh, here we go. I think I fixed it. Let's try this again. Welcome in to another episode of our Sistas Keeper, the Tyler Perry Sistas unofficial live after show, hosted by your good sis you let talk TV with, and
Your girl Allie Nick, giving it to you when I give it to you, but always in the nick of time.
yes, now you coming through loud and clear. Hey, Allie, how you feeling tonight?
um, personally, I'm feeling good. Um, feeling after watching this show, I could have had a V8,
We could have had
and
a
I don't even
V8
drink
friend.
them.
We could have had
Yeah,
a
yeah, I
V8.
don't even drink them.
100%. How
Mm-hmm.
y'all feeling tonight? Let us know in the chats. What's going on? What you thinking? How you feeling? Is audio great? Hey Jamira. Hey Shell. Hey Tambi. Hey Vaughn. Welcome in, boo. Hey Mel Cunningham. Hey Janelle. Hey Cheryl. Hey Lynn Williams. How are you, boo? Hey Zaire. Hey Keena. Welcome in, everybody. How y'all feeling? What y'all
Yes.
rating the episode? Let's go ahead and get back to, I guess, policy and procedure. What's the procedure
Yeah.
when you gotta? This is
Yeah, I know
interesting.
what she said.
This is very interesting. Hey Riley, welcome in, boo. Thank you, Janelle. Audio is great.
Okay.
Y'all, I fear I got nothing for you tonight. I got nothing.
Nothing.
I am so checked out. It is insane.
Yeah, I feel the same way. And I think the interesting part of it to me is I don't even think it was more so a bad episode, but going back to something that we discussed last week about how we were both talking about the ending of the old and the beginning of a new era of sisters. And clearly you can see that with the writing of Courtney in last week's episode. This week's episode, we go back to a familiar writer, and why does this woman name escape? Oh God, why does her name escape me? I'm gonna get
Maggie.
it.
You said it was
Um,
Maggie.
Maggie. We went back to the same old. We were introduced to this character that I really was like, what the hell? It has been a while since I have literally fast through a scene. The thing with Fatima and this young man and Hayden in that conference room, it was what the hell is this? Honestly, and I just didn't understand what was happening. Then we get introduced to this knucklehead Rock for what? He should have been left under the rock where he was. Nobody asked for this. We don't want it. Send him back to Cinder,
Nobody,
please.
nobody asked for this. Y'all are rating the episode. Um, Davey says a 5.2 out of 10. Vaughn says a 5. Jamira says a 7. Janelle says a 6. Riley says a 5. Keena says a 5.5. Hayden Fatima took me out.
Mm.
Kikian like that. Davey says the episode was eh. Only great scene of the episode was Danni and Zach scene. Okay, that's something to be said. I got a counter scene that is to me is a better scene, but that scene wasn't the worst for by far. Wasn't the worst for real.
Yeah.
Shell says I rated a 4 because it's too sad for me. Okay, that's an interesting jumping off point. Y'all don't want to be in the muck of the real, in the sadness. Is it too much? Is it overwhelming? Is it too triggering? Hey Money Green Tay, welcome in, boo. Money Green Tay gave it a 6.5. Brandon gave it a 6. Hi Janora gave it a 4 out of 10. Lynn gave it a 1. Yeah, Trina says I fell asleep, but evidently I didn't miss anything. Let's talk about how Erica was asleep and started the episode late and just had to watch it before I got on here. So I'm also just like, um, okay, this is why we come to y'all, because if they give us nothing on screen to actually talk about, y'all gonna help us find something to talk about. I like the point of it being too sad. We can talk about the tonal shifts and if it is advantageous for sisters to even walk into that new era with the sadder undertone, a little bit more melodrama. Um, the statement about the Zach and the Danny scene being the best scene, I would counter that and say the Karen scene to me was the best scene. The Karen and her baby scene was the best scene. Her Karen and Faith for me was the best scene of the whole episode. But it also felt like it was a scene that was so out of place, even though it was very organic in reference to like next steps for what the Karen character should be going through, which might seem a bit weird for me to say, y'all. So like walk with me with that. The tone of that particular scene and where they are in that, I feel like is what should be the tone of this season. And that is the new sisters that was battling before. This episode to me is more steeped in old sisters with random comedy, rush plot lines, additional characters out of nowhere. And then you have this moment, this very tender, sensual, intimate character revealing moment. We're now 9 seasons in, and we have characters talking around things that should have been their deep character revealing moment, but we don't actually get to see it. This moment where Karen chooses not to pick up her baby that's about to start crying is a character revealing moment. Danni makes a point to say that Jonah almost broke her. And while we got to see the act, we didn't get to actually see the fallout for her internally. We didn't get to hear her internal dialogue of processing that particular piece of abuse in a long history of abuse that that young woman has experienced, and what that did for her internally in reference to how her mind started to shift, and where the break started to happen. We were robbed of that. Like, we're kind of getting a little bit more of it. Like, I would have to go back and watch the beginning of this episode because I was like half asleep while watching it. But like Andy, I think that they're like tiptoeing around giving her similar moments to like character reveal because she's so emotionally charged this season. But everybody else, it's not. It's trite. It's just not that. So that's my counterpoint. I think that the Karen and Faith scene was the best scene of the episode. But I'm not opposed to the conversation that Zach and Danny had and the scenes that they had, and I don't think that they were terrible. But I also think that those two characters were poorly set up for this to actually be the case. But okay.
Yeah.
You got thoughts on that, Allie?
Girl, I got so many thoughts. That's what it was. And it's so funny because we talked a little bit before we got on, but we didn't discuss that. And we're on the same page. As I was watching that scene, that's what kind of took me out of it because, as you stated, I'm not opposed to Danny and Zach having this heart to heart conversation or her believing I need to go over there and get my friend or attempt to try to make him feel better for what, he has experienced. I have no problem with that. But when Danny brought up the Jonah situation, of course, we were all privy to the physical abuse that she endured. We were privy to her going to Andy's office and crying about it. And after that, it was nothing. It was nothing else with Danny dealing with that situation. We did not know how that affected her. When she was in therapy, we did find out that Danny was, I believe, involved in an abusive relationship either in college or right after college. But as it pertained to Jonah, I was just so shocked that that was used because we didn't get to see anything pertaining to that other than the initial situation. So as you said, like the setup for these two characters to have this conversation and for Danny to, it's almost like she just pulled this out of her hat because to me it just didn't fit. But she said that almost broke me. When we have never, we didn't see Danny broken from that situation. It was as if it didn't happen, and that to me has always been one of the major issues I've had with this show. Just last week, we was giving Courtney props for allowing Karen to feel, Zach to feel, Andy to feel, and verbalize how they were feeling. Yet we come here to Maggie's episode, and here we go pulling out stuff that we didn't see Danni experience the feeling of being abused, being spat upon, hitting this man with her car, the possibility of ending his life, him being bold enough to pop back up at the airport again. We didn't see her go through the emotions of the fear that he could possibly try to hurt me again. We didn't see any of that. So it was just, it's almost like I always, equate it to like an orgasm. You almost there, then he move and switch positions and he done jacked you up. Like that's how I felt with that moment. Like, okay, y'all building, you building, and you fell flat. Like that's how I felt, with that scene, which I believe it could have been a whole lot better. I'm not opposed to it happening, but it
Yeah.
just felt like they were having two very different conversations for me.
Yeah, and what solidified that is that her also like I survived a country bumpkin bringing his girl that he met on the monkey bars and proposing. I'm like, well, when she went to the proposal, I was like, oh, she's talking about Tony just proposed. But no, she was talking about Preston's ass and his white woman. But girl, what is it? What of that is survival? You didn't want that man. What are you surviving from it? Like I'm confused. And quiet
Mhm.
as kept. If we're gonna talk about the relationship that you survived with Preston, then Zach is actually on the wrong side of that because he was a part of the one that kept sending black women down his goddamn way to make your ass jealous and to make it worse. So like why like at that point I feel like and this is not me trying to be shady to the writer because I didn't even know until Allie said who the writer was. I wasn't paying attention, so I didn't even think about it. But that to me feels like it's less of like you're in the show and you give a damn about these characters and more about, oh, I know that this thing happened, so let me at least mention it because it happened.
Mhm. That is a
Because
great
it
point.
doesn't fit. It doesn't fit at all. Like you survived Preston and Mindy, girl. Okay, people survive stupid ass exes every day. B, what are you talking about? How did that line up with him losing his baby? Like, girl, and this ain't about you.
That's what got me. It's not about you. And I understand people may not be able to say the right thing. That's why I could appreciate what she said when she called Karen. Like, I just called to say, girl, I don't know what to say. I just know that I love you. And that's all she had to offer in that moment. I'd rather her have said that to Zach, like, bro, I'm here just to be in your presence. I honestly don't know what to say because the things that she was actually saying had nothing to do with what Zach was experiencing. Because I probably would have flipped because how dare you compare me losing my child to a proposal that you really didn't want? I would have been like, sis, I know you're trying to make me feel better, but it's not working. You can take your weed and you can go. Like you can take your pen, baby, because it's not working. It's just not. And I wanted, and I love to give space to people because I understand you just don't know what to say sometimes. But to have Danni go into this, my situations, what I endured, what I overcame, what almost broke me, so you gonna be okay, girl. No comparison.
and all
No
and
comparison.
not trying to victim blame. But if it come across how I come across, I'm also in a season of I don't give a fuck. You brought that on yourself. You're telling him a bunch of circumstances that might have been sad or hurtful in the moment, but most of which you brought on your damn self, not Jonah. But like Preston, you brought upon your damn self. Preston and Mindy, you brought upon your damn self. Zach did not bring Karen miscarrying his baby upon himself. So why are we bringing it up? And this again goes to what we talked about last week. And like the power of showing up for people is not just showing up and like making your presence known and filling the damn air with all of these words. You don't have nothing to say. Sit there. Get a nigga the blunt and sit there. That would have done way more. Danni showing up and just sitting there and shutting the hell up would have done so much more for her. Not only Zach and like showing him like I'm your friend and I don't know what the hell to do, but I'm here. But it also what I think started to add layers to her as a character and build on her character if they are trying to say that she's better and she's going in a different direction and she's evolving. But no, this is the same self-centered, closed-minded Danni that we have always known.
That's a fact. That is a fact.
And y'all, before we continue, one of the things that Ellie and I were like kind of talking about before we got on here, was just the battle that it is to have these conversations, because we always really want it to be constructive. And when we're in seasons of like being less than inspired by what we're watching, and have like racks and racks and racks of criticism, it's kind of hard for us because we don't want to just be complaining, but we're like, okay, we're just gonna have the honest conversation. So I want to kind of just name that thing of like, we are mindful, not even just we are mindful of like, oh, y'all just hate the show now, maybe, but at least we're gonna be honest and we're gonna talk you through like what could be, and like of what the issue is. It's not all hope is lost or the show is damn doomed. Like the show could just, Sistas could be so elevated so easily because it has all of the ingredients that it needs. And I think that the biggest frustrating point for me is that at every turn they're choosing to be this damn mediocre.
Yeah, it's definitely a choice. And it goes back to, I think a lot of it has to do, and I don't know with all the writers, maybe some of them actually are fans of the show. They were watching the show, and then we know there are some who had never watched Sisters and did a whole, consumption of the show before they went into the writers' room. So they didn't have to sit with it. They didn't go through the emotions. They just, maybe for some people it's just a job. And I don't want to put that assumption on them, but it does make me wonder when the quality of the writing is just weird, because this episode didn't even flow well in my opinion. Like, this, the flow of the entire episode was off. Last week was just a beautifully written episode. The people who needed to be funny were funny when they needed to be, and everybody else could divulge or go deeper into the meat of their storyline. And it just felt so out of place. Like it really did. That's the best thing I could do. And like Erica said, like I've already said, I don't see myself reviewing Sisters after season 10. If there's another season, I'm barely holding on.
Yeah.
And when I say barely holding on, I'm barely holding on. So when people listen to like my reviews and the trailer breakdowns, and they're like, "Man, this was funny." Listen, it got to be funny to me, because that's the only way I'm getting through this thing, y'all. It's my own therapy. Because other than that, I couldn't do it. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, these conversations are helping me a ton. Like, y'all in the chat, and then having Allie to be able to bounce just like my thoughts off of, because like, honestly, at the start of this, I said I have nothing for y'all. Like, and I guess what I meant by that is like, I have nothing but critique. Like, it's not much of anything that I like, and that puts me in a weird place, because I know part of my job is to entertain you all, and I'm like, who wants to sit and watch somebody complain for an hour or two? So just being able to have the conversation and bounce things off and like go where the conversation leads has definitely injected so much more into it to make it like, okay, this is a little bit more worthwhile. But I just wanted to try to speak to that, because Erica is in a season right now where I don't give about a lot that I used to give about. And that's also very weird for me. It's very weird for me to be in such a ready to release season. And quite a few shows that I'm watching I'm not actually interested in. But y'all, I am captivated by audiobooks like crazy. Like last month, and this is on the second half of last month, just because of what happened at the end of last month and how I went to like a solitude thing. I listened to 19 audiobooks last month. I'm on my like 12th book or something this month, and it's only the 13th. I've been listening to 1 or 2 audiobooks a damn day, and that's where my story itch has been scratched for real. So then when I come to these damn shows and they ain't giving what need to be gave, I'm just like, I could be listening to an audiobook, to be quite honest.
Mm. And I get that. I get that. I get that. So, and like Erica said, I definitely appreciate people, listening to the honesty, because I think that one thing I struggle with, because it's like, you have this particular season of Sisters, especially dealing with the hardcore topic of postpartum depression, grief, losing a child, with the ex lover or the ex love of your life. It has brought up, I think, so many emotions for a lot of people. And this has shown me just how much people despise themselves just based
Mm.
on the things that I'm reading. And I've seen so many comments talking about, well, when I dealt with postpartum depression, I never did this. And it's like, well, your postpartum depression story is your story. You don't speak for every woman who has ever dealt with postpartum depression. My mom shared something with me a few days ago that she's never shared. I'm 9 years
Mm.
older than my baby brother. And when he was born, he was like my baby. Like, he was just like, I fed him, I burped him, I knew how to change the diaper. I just thought I was having a good time. My mom taught me how to do those things because she didn't want to do anything with or for this baby. And my mom was like, she went to our neighbors, but they were good friends,
Mm.
and she was like, I don't want to be bothered. And she was crying
Wow.
because she was like, I love my son, and I don't know why I feel this way. And my mom had never shared that story with me until a couple of days ago. And I'm just thinking, I'm being, because I'm the oldest, like, I'm just being big sister, having this moment. But it was like, his dad was around, but he wasn't the best help. So I'm gonna teach him, show my daughter how to do this, and she having fun with it, not knowing she's really helping me in this
Mm-hmm.
tough season of my life. So when I hear people trying to fit everyone's story into their box, into how they were when they experienced it, that's your story, and it's not a one size fit all. Everybody's story is different. We have seen so many stories about women putting their babies in the microwave or the oven, and it's like, really, how would they do that? It could get bad.
Allie, I was
It could get
watching
bad for a
the
lot of
scene with,
people.
with Karen, and I was like, please don't let her hurt the baby. Please don't let, because I felt
Yeah,
like it was coming. I felt like it was coming, just knowing
yeah.
the unpredictable nature of postpartum. Anything is possible. You're not necessarily
Anything.
thinking logically. The chemical imbalance that's happening in your brain, like, and I think that that's something that we, because we aren't necessarily taught it, and yes, a lot of things go back to slavery, but
Yeah,
because we have been socialized as Black people, we're kind of behind the eight ball in reference to consciousness around certain things, and lucky for us, we're in an age where I think that we're awakening to a lot of things, but that's not something that people think about. Even postpartum period, like, I would say even as early as 10 years ago, people weren't regarding postpartum as thoroughly as they do now. 20 years ago, she
hmm
better get her shit together. People have babies every day. Be 30 years ago, like, what are you sad about? Like, you know what I'm saying? So, I don't get on Twitter and all of that, especially when it comes to the Sistas fandom, because they, most of the people who operate that cesspool are toxic as hell, problematic at best. Um, but to hear that that's the conversation around it is just like, that speaks more to who you are than the actual character of Karen that they're showing on screen, because it is not a one size fits all postpartum story. Everything comes into play. How the neurons in your brain are functioning, how neurotransmit, like hormone, everything. There's so much, even down to like a cellular level, right? That's happening, and it's the combination for you as your person. Um, so they gonna say what they gonna say, but
Oh,
the
absolutely.
Karen, I think that the Karen storyline that we got to see in this episode was probably the truest, the most authentic portrayal of a character given the circumstances.
Yeah. Yeah. I really appreciate it. I know last episode, she was kind of in more of a, I don't want to say rage, but just really getting out how she felt about the loss of her child, and things of that nature. And even though I know I must read the crazy comments, but I could actually appreciate her moment of stillness and quietness as Aaron was speaking to her, like just pleading his case about, come back to them, and we're here for you and we love you. You are not alone. And when she felt, the thing of I don't, I'm not fit to be on whatever it was, and we know that these are just the thoughts that she's having in this moment. But I loved how she played that, because she didn't even show any emotion on her face. She didn't show that she was irritated or aggravated with what he was saying. It's like, I know what you're saying is the truth, but I can't even do nothing with what you're saying, in this moment. And then to see her come out and have those, like, we could hear her internal thoughts with herself, like, I know I need to do something, but I can't. This is supposed to be different. This is not what was supposed, to be. Or he's coming back. Shh, don't cry. And when she walked in the bedroom and closed the door, I was like, man, this it gave me chills, because I'm like, this
Yeah.
is so real.
Yep.
Like, I want to pick you up. I want to love you. I don't even feel like you deserve me. I'm not even worth your love.
So
Nothing.
much.
You
It's
better off
so
without me.
layered, so heavy. And that brings
Oh
me to the
man.
point of, like, someone mentioned earlier in the chat that we got a sighting of Aaron in this episode, and I'm like, yeah, it was just that. Even the scenes with her and Aaron, mm, I love Aaron, like, love Aaron down, but I'm sick of them doing him a disservice with the limitations that they're placing on the character, because I don't believe that what he said in that moment is something that he would say all at one go the first time that they're actually talking and interacting. Like, I feel like they need more. He needs more time. He needs more scenes. There needs to be more in and out with Karen, because part of me felt like the whole, like, don't shut us out, come back to us, all of that, it's too soon. And that's no shade to the Aaron character. I feel like they're making him say this now because they know that they're giving him a little to no damn time, and he got to say
Mhm.
something, which
Mhm.
leans to the pacing issue. But you can have us over there, that damn law firm, for God knows how long, watching Fatima get damn lusted after with a wannabe prospect who comes to the paralegal to discuss his multi-million-dollar contract because she's just so fucking awesome. Like, stop. Stop. Just stop. This is ridiculous. Like, y'all have got to, at some point, y'all need to know some fucking shame. We get it. Fatima's a baddie. We get it. She's destined to be a lawyer. Meanwhile, and destined to be a great one. Meanwhile, the only time we seen her in law school, she was failing. But she's so damn great. She's so damn perfect. She's finna read everybody's goddamn contracts. Like, Aaron needs more time. We need more time in Karen's apartment in this moment that is this, because I would liken it, and I have not experienced birthing a child, y'all. So part of this is 100% my projection and speculation, and I'm aware of that. If you ain't aware of that, again, that's your business. I'm saying what the hell I said here. I liken the first day home to, like, I don't know if y'all have ever seen the show 24, where every episode is an hour in a day. Moment to moment, things are happening. And I think the best example of that is the scene with her and Faith, and watching her process her internal dialogue and, like, make certain decisions. Y'all, we need more time. Moment to moment, like, Karen is now in a space of getting up to come and get water. She didn't call out for water. What was the process of deciding not to call to get water, but she's going to get up? When just in the last episode, she didn't want to get out of that damn bed. She was just going to relegate herself to die there. There's so much meat and story, and even telling us how she decided to get her ass out the bed. But y'all are leaving all of the great story on the damn cutting room floor, and then taking us to this stupid ass conference room so we can watch some little young ass wannabe basketball prodigy lust at the Fatimas. No law degree having ass. I don't need it. I don't need it.
Oh God. You said so much, and I agree with everything that you said. I agree with everything that you said, and I think for me, that's why I was like, I appreciate the moment, because we don't get. And I was trying not to, get too TL, because they definitely played in our face last season with Aaron, and I do agree with what you said. It almost felt like, okay, going back to, we know who wrote this episode. You going back to the old stuff. The fact that Aaron didn't even lay beside her, hug her, maybe kiss on the cheek, maybe pat her hair down. No type of affection. I would have preferred him to get in the bed and she kind of like elbow him to move than him just not doing it at all. Like, it's just, to me, that is not within this man's character. He is so affectionate towards this woman, and now it's just nothing. I don't buy it, but I'm glad we got something. Like, I
Yeah.
would, now I ain't gonna lie, I got really upset the first moment when he was on the phone with Pam, and I was like, baby, why are you standing outside the room door? I need you in the room. And I said, y'all bet not play with me on tonight. There better be some type of conversation, something between Aaron and Karen, because I just feel like ain't no feel, they play in our face. Also, as I've said so many times, please pop Fatima's titty out y'all mouth.
Please.
Maggie, since you wrote
Please.
this episode, please pop a titty out your mouth. That scene, the fact that Fatima is not a lawyer, she's a paralegal, and y'all treat this paralegal as if she is a lawyer. She is sitting there reading over this man's multi-million dollar contract, finding the issues in it. There is no lawyer in there with her. Give me a break. That's why I said there is nothing anyone can say, because you will be arguing with yourself about the favoritism, the biasness, everything with this character. She's a paralegal, and I know Hayden get on people's nerves, but he ain't lying. But you
At
know she a
all.
paralegal, right? She can't do nothing for you. She can't. Why are we treating Fatima as if she's this amazing? Like, it's just, at this point, to me, it's played. Like, it's honestly played, and for me, that is something that brings the liking of the show down for me. I know they're gonna treat Fatima as if she's the golden goose. I get that, but can you just please make it believable,
Exactly. It's not
please?
believable. It's not believable. And what's playing out is proof in the pudding for me that scapegoating characters out of the authenticity of the moment that they're in, the feelings tied to whatever the moment that they're in, does not actually help their character. It does not make them as likable. Zach is now more likable because he is deeply grieving, because he cannot see a way out of where he's at. And that is real. If Zach would have been perfectly fine tomorrow, Zach would have still been in the boat for me of, all right, bump that character. We don't actually need Zach on Sistas because that does not actually track. And y'all trying to make it seem like Fatima could just take a lick and keep on ticking. Her fiance and future baby daddy is grieving the loss of a baby that she probably deep down inside didn't even want to have happen, but she got on board anyway. Where's the process of that? Oh, but no, she gonna go full litigate a multi-million-dollar basketball contract and also not peep the flirting that's happening and not actually check that. Okay, cool. But she still got smoke for Hayden, even though y'all just went through a deep loss. And to me, the one thing I will say, and this could be definitely projection, when you suffer a great loss, even if it's not you directly, you get a little bit more precious about all of the life around you. So to watch Fatima not have any type of nothing towards Hayden and it's the same energy, it just feels like, okay, so we're back to what the hell it was before. Because again, like you said, he's not wrong. She is a paradigm legal.
Mhm. Courtney, can you please approach the bench, sir, and just stay here, please? Don't let nobody else write nothing else. I know this season's already been filmed,
Wait,
this
Courtney's a
season
guy?
10, but I just appreciate you. Courtney's a guy.
Oh,
And somebody told
wow.
me, I don't know how true this is because I don't venture over to Twitter spaces, but these are okay. So these are these people that's called, I guess, sweeties. I guess this is Crystal's hive.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they were doing a Twitter space or something, and he was on the live or he was chiming in, and they didn't like what he was saying about Zatima, so they literally kicked this man out of the spaces. And I'm like, see, that's y'all. It's the obsession,
Yeah.
and people are like, it's a lot to this stuff. I'm like, you kick the writer off of the like. Okay, you said like that's what the hell is that? I'm like, y'all are crazy. Then they want to ask me why you don't be on Twitter because because the way I'm set up, I would allow somebody to take me there. And
Mm.
everything that I say, I will mean. I would never go on an apology tour because whatever I say, believe I meant what I said and how it came out. Yes, I meant it in that way. So I stay from over there on Twitter. I go check it, see if anybody tagged me in the trailer, and all after that, baby, I comes back off because it is horrible over there. But it's sad when you have like this limbo of what this show could be and then what we get presented with. And as you stated, I meant the time how long Fatima was in this scene with this guy because I think we had the scene they cut and came back to it. I said this could have been used for Karen.
Mm-hmm.
This could have been used more with Zach by himself, what he's dealing with, how he's processing it, the whole man ups, situation, everything. Even what you said about with Karen calling for her mom, and then what the processing of her getting up to get water. Because she didn't say, Mom, can you bring me some water? It was Mom, Mom. She didn't hear anything. I know Aaron must have said something. Your mom's not here. She left, whatever. She just come out. I just want some water. Okay, cool. Well, ain't none. I'll be right back. And then Maggie, you're pissing me off because why you trying to act like Karen ain't never got no food in her house? It's not Danny. She had nothing. That girl had nothing in here, so she just don't eat. I mean, this is not, and this ain't the first time it's been
Mm-hmm.
alluded that Karen ain't have no food in her house. I'm like, baby, it'll make the little and see this the little shit. Sorry, that be pissing me off because it's like everything that somebody could nitpick about this character, it comes out somewhere. Really, this is the time to talk about how because anything could have happened for Miss Lisa to go to the grocery store, anything. But we're gonna use that she ain't got no food in her house. Okay, it was just dumb. When
Yeah.
Fatima, I just Ubered you or whatever, you some food. When Danny comes over, Zach tell her it ain't even that good. So I'm grieving. You sent me some food. Thank you for the gesture, but you didn't even get it from a reputable place that you know I like. What the hell is happening here? Just those, like, what the hell? Zach was so happy for the donuts. Like
He
Zach was
was.
ecstatic about these donuts. And Fatima, I'm gonna give you something to eat. And then you do it, and it ain't even what the man want. It ain't even what he like. I don't even understand right now. It's just I think it's the lack of care for these characters specifically with with Zach and Karen. Even the thing that Andy was processing her own, like she's shaking, having a panic attack or an anxiety attack with everything that she has endured. Yet we get this moment with Robin on the phone, and I'm like, are we never gonna see this brother again? Because it almost felt like the eternal goodbye. And
Wait,
Andy, well, I
did
didn't know
they
I
show
felt this way
Robin?
about him.
Did they show Robin in this episode?
No, they just play his voice on his voicemail on
And she
Andy's
was
phone,
hearing it.
and
Okay,
it
I
just
think I was
felt
half
like,
asleep still
yeah,
at the
yeah,
beginning.
yeah. She was just hearing it, dog. She was just hearing it, and then it was like, oh, I didn't know I felt this way about him, up until now. You're lying. Because you and Fatima treated that man like pure trash. Then 2 episodes later, you all hugged up on him, telling him how much you want to be with him. And I'm like, Maggie, and you can at least watch the episode, sis. I'm sorry. You can at least watch the damn episodes to find out what happened before. Because the stuff you wrote, sis, it don't make not
It's
no damn
not
sense. And
none.
it don't. Mm-mm. It
It
don't.
really don't. And
Sorry.
that goes to the poor pacing or maybe the poor planning of the season overall, which is trickling down into each of these episodes because we're still within the same day. Somebody said that Zach still had those
Mm-hmm.
donuts. Aaron had just came that morning, right? This is that same day, and it feels a lot different. The duplex in Karen's apartment feel to be moving at a much slower, more realistic pace than what's happening at the airport, what's happening at the law firm. And I say what's happening at the airport because now all of a sudden Danny has a cousin who can get back behind security, can borrow money, and she needs to remind to call family, but we have never watched Danni call a family member in the whole 8 seasons that we've been watching. Now Danni's connected with her
Not at
family.
all. Not at all.
Now Danni's
No.
the responsible big cousin. Where was Rock when she was getting her head knocked between the wash machine and the dryer?
Mhm. Oh, he was in prison.
Why weren't there
He just got a
calls?
prison.
Why weren't there collect calls?
Because that's your favorite cousin. I think the man said he had just got out of prison, what, 24 hours ago? And I came to see
I don't
my
know what
favorite
he
cousin because I
said.
heard you
I don't
got
know
some
what he said.
money.
And then also, I don't know what men are walking out of prison like that 24 hours ago and then walking into a goddamn airport.
And see, this is why continuity
Like what?
matters. Just got out of jail, you got a fresh haircut, fresh fit, gold chain. Not unless that's what you went to, that's what they confiscated when you went in. I doubt it. But I got to get me a fresh cut, even though you freshly lined up, my G. And I knew, I said, I think we've only heard Danni mention her family twice. When we found out she was from Detroit, and when they had the girls' night, and we found out that her dad really didn't do anything for her. Her and Karen shared that same sentiment about their fathers. Other than that, there has never been any mention about Danny's family. But then we get this cousin out of the woodworks. It just seems like, and Maggie, I know it seemed like I'm just coming at you. I am. It just really seemed like this stuff was just thrown together like to make up an episode, because
Mm-hmm.
where are these characters coming from? We get Rock, I don't even know the basketball player name and forget, we get him, and then they have a substantial amount of time on screen, especially the Rock, I mean, excuse me, the basketball player guy with Fatima, because he's so engrossed in her beauty. And oh yeah, and it's like, it's so elementary at this moment. Like every man that crossed her path want a bone. Just like with Zach, every woman that crossed his path just want to have sex with him. And it's like, can't, come on, y'all, please. Like I just,
And also, please, if you're not going to do anything with it, at this point, it's redundant. If you're going, stop trying to pull or create this thread if it's not actually a thread to be pulled. Y'all want to have everybody swooning after Fatima's ass. She going through the thick of it now, having to help her fiance grieve the lost baby while also being pregnant. If she's not taking a second look, then why the hell does it matter that this boy think her ass is fat? And why do we need to know that? At this point, we can literally just assume that, so y'all don't actually have to call it out. You don't actually have to name the thing. The world that you have set up, everybody wants Fatima. Everybody wants to stick parts of them in the parts of Fatima. We get it. So you quite literally don't need to say it anymore. What is understood don't need to be explained. Unless you're going to put her in a place where she will, for a moment, for a hot second, in a moment of weakness, think about engaging. Then that's when that actually becomes important. Otherwise, it becomes additional fodder to fall off and never be remembered, which sets this damn show up to be something that we won't remember once it's done.
yeah, and that really hurts my heart. Like, and if I'm wrong, time will tell. But that has just always been my stamp of, when this show ends, ain't nobody gonna talk about this mess. Ain't nobody gonna. It will never be in certain conversations ever again. While it's out, people will review it, people will
Mm.
talk about it. But once that series finale happened, that's gonna be the end of Sistas. It'll be like, remember that show Tyler Perry used to have back in the day, like something like that. Because I think it's such a disservice to what they're doing. I knew this show was gonna piss me off the first scene with Rich and Penelope. I knew this show
Mm.
was gonna piss me off then. When you have Rich saying, there was me and Penelope, there's nothing there. We grew up together. We're familiar. What the hell does that have to do with the fact that you had sex with this woman? You gaslight the hell out of Sabrina. You try to make her feel like things were her fault. You accuse her of having sex with someone who she did not have sex with. When Penelope, well, when she caught y'all, Penelope came out there like, she had the best cooch on the block. She once said it was a mistake then, but now all of a sudden she's in Sabrina's face saying it meant nothing. Go to hell. Penelope and take Rich with you, because at this point, I don't know why y'all are here. I don't know why Sabrina has not kicked y'all out, called security, whatever. The mere fact that this man has the ability to access Sabrina whenever he chooses to is a problem for me, because he's definitely not needed in her presence, in her storyline. Why the hell are y'all there? To
And
prove that the
what
sex
the hell
meant
did
nothing? You
Penelope
came to my
say?
job to tell me the sex meant nothing?
I don't even remember,
She was basically
Allie.
just saying it didn't mean, girl, well, y'all can help me out. This is all I remember, that it didn't mean anything.
Why
But
did
I
she need to
just
come
came
to
to
her
tell you
job
it
to
didn't
say
mean
that?
anything.
You was seeming like it was meaning a lot when she should have bat you in your shit that night. You was talking all big and bad then, and now you at my job, Penelope. Please, but even her. So like, I'm glad we're here. Let's park here really quick because on
Mm-hmm.
the last Our Sisters Keeper episode, there was someone in the comments, and I don't have the comment pulled up. I meant to pull it up. I'm sorry. But they basically said that our live and the conversation that we had around Penelope in our live made them feel bad. Not made them feel bad, but like put Penelope in a better perspective and made them realize that she is grieving and she experienced a lot and she needs more grace. And to that I say that is the writer's fault that she don't have grace because she's not moving like a woman who's grieving a lot. You cannot just have a bunch of outbursts, have a bunch of reactions, and just charge everything to the game of grief. Yes, you could be grieving, and that's fine, and your feelings are valid. Again, that's fine, but you're still responsible for your interactions and your reactions with people. Whether there's people who are actually directly related to you or have interpersonal relationships with you, or strangers. I quite literally am in a season of deep grieving, deep mourning right now. I found myself in Walmart 3 days ago, ready to bat this young woman in her and I said, you know what, Erica? You don't want to go to jail. Amen. You don't want to go to jail. So I'm going to need you to breathe in, breathe out, and walk away. That is what you do as an adult with some type of autonomy, maturity, and desire to see yourself through the damn grief. So if Penelope isn't getting enough grace or sympathy, in your opinion, I'm going to say don't come to me with it. And that's no shade to the comment. I'm glad that you posted it because it allows for a conversation to be had a little bit further. But I'm not cultivating no more grace for her because even in her grief, your grief does not give you a goddamn get out of jail free card for your poor behavior and being a shitty ass individual. I know deep down that right now I don't give a damn about a lot. And I am trying to tell the people around me as respectfully as possible when they come to me with some of the shit that they have come to me. And trust me, quite a few people have come to me and I've said, I'm going to be quite honest with you as respectfully as possible. I don't give a fuck. I don't. This is happening. This is the only thing that matters to me. I'm giving people warnings and I'm moving with a certain level of still responsibility in my grief because the world is still moving forward for everybody else while you're grieving. So yes, some terrible shit has happened to you. Yes, you're going through a lot. Yes, you're emotionally overwhelmed. Yes, you could be overstimulated. And that doesn't mean that you get to slide your ass onto somebody else's penis. It don't mean that you can jump your ass into his girlfriend's face and talk all this big cash shit. It don't mean that you can shove your tongue down this other the throat. It don't mean that you can try to belittle Andy because you have low self-esteem. Your grief does not write a get out of jail free card for all the consequences for the checks that your ass wrote and can't cash. You should have been better than your and you lucky that ain't happened. So no, I have no sympathy for Penelope still. I have no grace for Penelope still. And I acknowledge that, yeah, she could be grieving. People grieve every day, B.
Yeah, that was my response to her. I think I know the comment that you're speaking of. And I know that you and I mentioned this when everything initially happened with Penelope, like, because she did lose her child in such a violent manner. And then she went straight from there to witness protection. And it goes back to what you said, it's the writer's fault because they never presented Penelope in a sense of, is she dealing with postpartum depression? she's dealing with grief. It's like, yeah, we can know she's dealing with those things, but the way that they had Penelope move was so outrageous. And maybe because she's not a main character, I don't know, maybe they didn't give care or concern to that particular storyline or to her particular mental state or what have you. But it is truly the writer's error for not doing it. Do I believe that she's experiencing these things? Absolutely. But as you stated, simply because you're going through those things, it does not give you that get out of jail free card to just move aimlessly and do whatever the hell you choose to, and then say, "Well, I'm grieving." So that she didn't even mentioning that. She ain't even saying that. Like it's almost like no sweat off her brow for what she experienced. She's just moving recklessly because that's what she wants to do.
And that's
Just like
that's the thing. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, and it's like just like we saw what's the girl name Sabrina. Sabrina in the trailer breakdown. I mean the trailer. Sabrina is officially entering her whole stage. Girl, you been hoeing. What you talking about? This ain't no new stage for you, but it is one of them things that whatever Sabrina does, she's doing it because she wants to do it. Whatever Penelope is doing, she's doing it because she wants to do it. She's not even pulling the grief card or nothing like that. But I just it go back to the writing. Hell, Maggie probably wrote that episode too.
It goes back to it goes back to the writing, because even villains can be likable, but you have to give us something to actually like, or not even like. You have to give us something to relate to. And it's so funny. I'm in talks right now to potentially partner and like sign on the right for this show, and the conversation that came up with the person who was like talking to me about the concept and all of that, and getting my ideas or whatever, was like, oh damn, you have such interesting takes. And she started to like name all these deeply flawed characters and like ask me what I thought about them. And I literally created an argument for like why people love them even if they fucked up, right? The part of the premise of the show is basically a fuckboy like reformed, right? And right now the current state that the show is in, it has a lot of work that needs to be done because the character is not likable at all. And I brought up Lawrence from Insecure, and I brought up that because I said that you have to start someplace very, very grounded, and you have to make a choice. For us in the writing world, I don't want to go too far in it. Sometimes the writers will present characters just a little bit too balance, or they try to make them balance because they don't want people to hate the character. But it's like you kind of have to go there. And the problem with Penelope is not the decisions that they have in her make, is that they're offering no additional context to why she's making the decisions that she's making. With Lawrence, he was raggedy as fuck, dusty as hell, forgot Issa's birthday, but also the behind the scenes of that was his low self-esteem and not feeling like a man, and like that was the thing that was spurring all of the poor decisions that he's making in his relationship. So it became a story of these two very individual characters trying to navigate this partnership, and how they are both affected by the missteps that each other takes on their own individual journeys. Penelope is doing all of this jealous, narcissistic, deeply non-girls girl things, while also seemingly being a sweet, or initially presented as a sweet girl, initially presented as a girl who needs community, a girl who literally is open, like she's light-skinned and everything. She would be the perfect person for people to just fall in like, because you literally fit the mold of like the likable black girl. But then y'all give her no actual context to why she has this deep vendetta to Andy, why she is hopping on every single penis. Like, y'all still haven't provided context there. And all we need to know is like, now she doesn't trust herself, so she's throwing herself at every man, because how could she have fallen for a Gary? It could be as simple as that, and like having that thought, and y'all won't even give us that. So no, there is no sympathy for her, because you have not fully fleshed out her character. And it's not even that you have to give all this time and space to her, but you just don't give us reasons as to why she's doing the dumb shit that she's doing. So she's going to give consequences to being a dumb bitch, because she don't seemingly have nothing else going on up there. Night, Vaughn.
That's good night, boo. That's how I feel. And speaking of having nothing going on up there, that brings me to Rich and how they have dumbed this man down to the lowest of dumbing down.
Child.
I don't think I've ever wanted somebody to choke on a French fry so badly in my life. When he was eating that chicken and those fries, and it's so bad. And I want to know if anybody caught this too. As I was watching him, he even spoke as if he wasn't the intelligent brother that we initially met. The way his verbiage was in this episode was so beneath him and so elementary. I'm like, this is not. No, did I say Rich or I meant to say Tony? I meant to say Tony. If I said it right, I didn't mean to say
you
Rich.
said Rich. Okay.
Tony.
I was about to say, what the hell did
Okay, I
Rich
meant to
say?
say
Because I
Tony.
stopped paying attention. Oh,
No,
he
yeah,
keeps saying
girl,
the same shit.
I'm gonna say, baby, Rich. I don't even want that name coming off the tip of my damn tongue. Tony. It was how dumbed down he was speaking when he was talking to Danni. You know, I want to thank you for inspiring me, encouraging me. I'm sorry, she did what of the sorts? She did what? And then sitting at that table, yeah, what you said your therapist said, yes, living in my truth. As if you're not in therapy, sir. You are the one who advocated for Danni to go to therapy. Now I said, I can't. I can't. I was so pissed off at this episode. It made no
Didn't they go to lunch or
sense.
something?
How
I tuned out
upset I
of the whole
was.
thing, Ellie. I don't remember not a damn thing that he said
Girl,
the whole time. I just remember
they
something
went
about
to
her
lunch.
asking if he had money. And I said, I already knew this. Y'all know I called this,
Yeah.
right? I called all of this. She's worried about him wanting her money now. Go. What did he say?
Because she asked him, how you got the money to pay for this? I said, Danny, you can't even spring and lunch, sis. Like, come on. And he was like, no, I'm good. Like, I'm good. I just, want to focus on what's important to me right now. And I want
Which
to
is
live in my
you.
fruit. I'm like, water. Yeah, I like water. I always reach the shore. I said, what?
He said that. I'm gonna have to go back and watch it before I do my damn breakdown because I don't remember nothing. I tuned out, like, y'all. When I tell y'all I'm so checked out, I am so checked out. It's crazy. I have the scene in my mind of them at lunch, but I have no idea what was said.
Honey, I said, what the hell is? What is this? I was floored. I was so floored because I'm like, this sounds like a completely different person. It really does. It sounds like a completely different person. You quit your job. You're standing behind the counter. You're kissing Danny in front of all of these people. You're not even employed anymore. The people come to bring you your belongings. As you walk out, you tell them, y'all gonna carry this out. I said, who is this? And what are y'all doing? Y'all did the same thing to Preston. And my thing is, when you want someone to move or you want to create the internal conflict, you don't have to dumb down these men, especially with the way that you presented Tony to us in the beginning. Now, I never understood why he was into Danny other than sex. I don't know why he's into her.
Yeah.
They never even explained that. But he was not no dumb brother. He was not ignorant. He was flawed like everybody else, but he presented himself to be much more mature. And to see how he is being presented now, complete and utter disappointment.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
I'm gonna go ahead and reserve many thoughts because I don't remember anything that was said about him. I completely dissociated while watching.
It was the water for me. I'm like, water. I always reach the shore. Okay. All right, Tony.
Oh my word! What?
He said, I'm sorry. What was that again, Tony? Girl.
Jamira says it irritated me even more because I wanted Danny to say more and be so serious because what the hell? She's doing it again, not really speaking out. So now she's going to wait until she can't take it anymore.
That is a great assessment because she does have her concerns.
It's the...
What?
Danny has definitely taken a few lumps, but also her character gets away with a lot to me because it's also the like pedestalizing Danny's point of view in which nobody can really check her and fully hold her accountable to how problematic she thinks. We're now watching Tony dedicate his life and he's living for her basically, and she's the most important thing ever. But he got 2 kids and a previous whatever. Okay. But then she also went over to the damn duplex with that same rhetoric. And I'm not saying that Zach cannot like find motivation in his family to come, because I get that. But like when a person is deep down in their grief and they're not feeling worthy, they feel like they're taking L after L after L. I find it kind of problematic to be like, well, your win is Fatima. No, his win is himself. His win is that he is still here. Like, you are here. Look at this duplex. Look at how far you have come, and look at all that you've experienced. Look at what you have made it through. Like, I don't know if it's like me maturing and like just going through life and really picking up things as I go through life. But the theories that we have around love and living for this other person, if you find yourself in a place of actually living for someone else, your life is over, baby. Your life is over at that point in time. You can be motivated, you can be inspired by other people in various seasons of your life, but the core of your life should be you, driven by you wanting to do well for yourself. And I think that this is what puts people or traps people into cycles of deep depression or of lack of self-worth, because we romanticize the idea of placing all of our value outside of ourselves. Zach needs to find a way to be good himself. This is why he's where he's at. He thought that being Forever's father was going to make him a better person, because it looks like, oh, now you're this. Being Michael's father, it makes you this person. You have to be this person and then start to show up these ways with all of the other accoutrements of what comes with life. You being Fatima's fiance does not make you, it's an addition. But if you don't have to build on, then how can you add to it? And that's the stuff of like, nobody's checking Danni on that. And that's also why her life is so shallow and vapid. You have nothing because you, as a person, what do you have? Who are you? If Danni, if you're not talking about the job that you hate, the weed that you smoke, the liquor that you drank, or the man that you, what is it? What has been your story? There is none.
There is none. If I could have threw the remote at the TV and it not break, but she said your win is Fatima. That was the first thing. She said your win is like the baby that she's carrying. Okay, I'll just excuse the baby. Your win is Fatima. To me, this is another intentional line about propping up this relationship with Zach and Fatima at a moment when he's experiencing what he's experiencing. And as he said, I'm tired of taking, loss after loss. Your win is Fatima. Like, basically, if you ain't got, so I'm like, are you saying that without Fatima, he's a loser? Without Fatima, any strides that he has made, it doesn't matter. It has to be excuse me. It has to be associated with Fatima. So again, Maggie, going back to you. And you can reach out to me. I have no qualms with communicating with a writer. It just goes back to this attempt to pedestalize this relationship. Even when this man is going through his darkest hour, we still have to push and prompt the fact that it's because of her that you know. I hated that so much, but I'm gonna tell you, when Danni lost me forever in season 1 of Sistas, when Zach was treating Karen like straight, and she told this man, I love the way you love my friend. I said, oh, baby, you don't love your friend. You don't love your friend. If you can say that to him, baby, you don't love your friend. And here you are yet again telling this man your win is Fatima. And when it comes to Danni, I think she is, and it's interesting too, when I see certain comments about Danni being the voice of reason, or Danni being the one that's getting him out his phone. I think that Danni, baby, it'd be too much dip on that chip, because she be saying some of the most basic things that don't even really make sense or matter. But yeah, man, he just need to talk to Danni, and she the one that can get him. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Too much. It'd be too much for me. And I'm just like, it's just, the balance. I appreciate Courtney's and the fact that that was a he's a man. It hits a little different.
Yeah.
It hit
Yeah.
different. But I'm like, baby, this thing, this thing now, no, y'all have really just, and it's just this one episode. Like I think this first couple episodes, yes, it has been difficult to watch, and some things was a little too far fetched. But I think last week episode was probably the best, well written one, an
Mm-hmm.
episode that flowed the best in my opinion. And then so you kind of get excited. That's why I can't ever get excited about Sisters. I think
Yeah.
you had asked me like, was I excited about season 9? I was like, I ain't excited at all. I ain't been excited. I think since season
Sister.
3 or 4.
Yeah.
Like I know because they piss me off. Because I be really, and I think the sad part is like, I really want to root for this show. I won't root for it. I support the talent that's on it, but it's like as a whole,
Yeah.
no, because the someone mentioned it, and I don't know who did it, but the collaborative effort to me is non-existent, and it appears that way
Mm-hmm.
because how can you have an episode like episode 4, and then you come to episode, and I think Courtney was the sole writer on that episode, and I think Maggie was the sole writer for this one, and it just feels like I'm watching two different shows. The
Mm-hmm.
fact that last week episode was such a it was almost like this butterfly coming out of out of this cocoon, and all you got to do is just fly out this jar. This episode felt like, nope, we gonna put that jar right back on, put that top, that lid
Mm-hmm.
right back on that jar. Butterfly, you ain't going nowhere. You gonna stay right here. And
Yeah.
that's and that's really how it felt. And I know people listening. I'm not trying to bag on this young lady or whoever Maggie. I'm not trying to bag on her. But I think that as a writer, I think you should be privy to know how people feel about what you're doing. You may
Yeah.
not even care, and that's fine too.
Yeah.
However, if you come across this video, at least it's coming from a place where I feel like the story deserves better, and I believe because you guys are hired to work on a Tyler Perry show, I believe that your level of writing can be a whole lot better than what it is.
Then what we
Period. Where
getting
you
for
don't have to
sure.
esteem a character so much. Like you don't have to esteem Fatima so much. It's sickening to me. It really is. Y'all, they got a whole damn show. They got a whole show. You can do all the steaming and all that mess over there. But oops, I forgot y'all can't do that because Zatima is really about Zach and she's just a side character. So you
Mm-hmm.
can't do it over there. So you attempt to do it over here because I'm like, yeah, I watch Zatima too. I don't review it, y'all, but I do watch it. But the same stuff happened over there. That thing is about Zach and she's just there. That's how I feel about it. She's just there. But you come over to Sisters and we just get this, hey, we I know what it is, but don't make everybody else stuff suffer. That's
Yeah.
how I feel.
Yep. I
Sabrina
agree.
been suffering too long. She needs some meat. She been on the tick for too long. She needs some meat. Danny, I don't know what the hell y'all can do with that.
Child.
Um,
There's
I
nothing to
don't.
be done. Let's talk about Sabrina. Because, like you said in the preview, she's walking into her whole phase.
Mm-hmm.
What I think the biggest thing that like puts me in a place of like pistivity with this show is that I really feel like on numerous occasions they are insulting my damn intelligence, and I don't like that. Like that is something that is very high up there and chapping my ass. Um, I understand women needing, feeling like they need, or randomly falling into hoe phases. However, for that to be the next thing that they're planning to take the Sabrina character into, it gives y'all don't actually know women, and it gives you believe women just be doing shit without actually thinking about it. Because if Sabrina, right, walk with me, if Sabrina just froze her damn eggs because she knows that she wants to be a mom, just watched her friend stillbirth a baby and is struggling in postpartum, which seemingly would exasperate the whole motherhood is precious thing. Just had her man cheat on her. Yes, they had broken up, but within the first 48 hours, I don't want to hear that. Don't be sliding in the shit. Hear me? And
Mm-hmm.
she's struggling with that. She also, prior to her man sliding into this other hoe, experience her ex coming back and saying he had it wrong the whole entire time, that she is the damn prize. We have always known her to be a monogamous person, a serial monogamous at that. What of all of those circumstances creates the thought process that hoeing will now give her everything that she wants, and hoeing won't just further push her into the state that she has currently been living in because she's been fucking with hoes? If anything, the next logical steps as a woman who has some semblance of sense, which Sabrina does, who has some money, ain't struggling, so she ain't out here needing to prostitute her coochie, which she don't need to, who has support, Maurice and other friends, who literally is not a firecracker, is not easily excitable. The next thought process for that woman is not to let me start throwing coochie. If anything, she would start running harder towards what she deeply desires, which is the white picket fence and a nigga to stand by her side. Or she would swear off men. The whole phase don't make no goddamn sense, considering what Sabrina's story is. Y'all are literally just having her do shit. And it's pissing me off because she's smarter than that and I'm smarter than that.
I agree with everything that you stated. Sabrina entering a whole phase is like Sabrina needing a hole in her head. And it goes back to what you said about how, first of all, let's be honest, Sabrina ain't even wired for that type of life. Baby,
And
she
some
could
women
barely
aren't.
live herself. And some women are not. Some women are not built for that type of life. And for those of us who are, I'm putting myself out there, I am redeemed. But when I was when I was about that life, it was scary. And it was scary in the sense of I realized how disconnected I was when it came to the act of sex. That's a scary feeling. When you could just have sex to you don't even know this person. There ain't no deep connection, ain't no it's all you look good, I look good. So what's up? You give a look. It's like I knew it was dangerous. I was in the store. I was on my way to the store. I was in my car. Now, if anybody ever been to Tallahassee, it's one of the most hilly places in Florida. Like it's hills everywhere. So I'm like on this incline. I'm like the third car up. There's the car in front. Like we literally made eye contact looking out our mirrors. This dude got out his car. He was like, "Dang, you look good." He was like, "Hey, meet me over here." So we go to the CVS. It was almost like we already ain't got to have a lot of conversation because we both know what's up. So what's up? Like when I say I was about it, oh, I was about it. What's up? And I could do it. I ain't never got to talk to this person again, see this person again. I remember one time I was messing with this dude. We messed around for a minute, and it was my first time staying the night at his house. And I said, oh, because normally we do what he do, and I would leave. And I said, oh, do you mind if I stay tonight? And he was like, why would you ask me that? Of course you can stay tonight. I said, oh. I said, well, when I invite you to my house, you might want to ask if you can. Like, don't assume that you just gonna stay in my house because I don't even like you like that. But it was like one of them things where that's a scary to be. When you could just have sex and it don't mean nothing, have sex, and I ain't trying to, they don't care if I ever talk to you again in life. Sabrina ain't cut out for it, baby. You being a hoe is not you, but what I'm saying
but it's also the motivation behind
definitely a lot younger.
In that moment, Ellie,
right.
I think that you,
right.
well, you can speak to what you were motivated by. Were you motivated by the pleasure of sex, the act of sex?
That's all it was. When I
right, and that makes sense. It makes that tracks, friend.
Yeah,
Sabrina is not motivated by sex. If it was Danni, that'd be a whole other thing. Danni is motivated by sex. Sabrina is not motivated by sex. So, like, what are we doing? Right. And to your point, it's treacherous. It gets sticky. She's not even scary about, like, this doesn't make Sabrina is the scary friend. What are we talking about?
Yeah, I have a thing. No, baby, we know. First of all, we know you ain't about that life, but just the way she said it, I'm officially entering girl. Shut up. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're gonna be pleasuring yourself. That's only about a whole phase you finna have. Because and it go back to what you said. It's the motivation. For me, my motivation was I enjoyed sex. So much
Yeah.
so I thought I was like addicted to it. Like I thought it was an addiction. I enjoyed everything about it. I enjoyed the thought of knowing I'm about to get some like everything that led up to it. I enjoyed that whole process. With Sabrina, as you stated, Sabrina let us know that her purpose in life, she believes, is to be is to be a mother, and you are doing the steps in order to make that happen. Your body, you've been taking these hormones, baby. You are baby, somebody kiss you the right way, you probably gonna pop up pregnant. You might want to
Mm-hmm.
sit down somewhere, but even that thought too. Like I know the episode hasn't aired, but it's like, what is that conversation with Maurice? Because you're fertile, you have sex with somebody, and the thing about it is, you can get pregnant, the condom can break. There are so many things that can happen in the midst of you just trying to have a good time. You could pop up with a baby. So the motivation for Sabrina to enter this whole stage don't make any sense because you and Rich already were not to get like it wasn't even a thing.
At
You knew he
all.
wasn't the man that you wanted. This man has constantly disrespected you on so many levels. Even the motive, you're not hurt by it. You ain't hurt that you caught you wish you hadn't seen it, but you're not giving me hurt vibes. You're not giving me that. So the fact that we would have Sabrina do this, it does not make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. I just feel like they don't know what to do with her character.
Yeah.
They don't know what to do with her. So it's
I
just like,
agree.
oh, we don't know what to do with Sabrina. So the next best thing is to make her, you know what I'm saying? Hey, turn us a hoe. What? Like, what was that conversation like in the writer's room? Because it makes no sense.
It doesn't. It doesn't track at all. Lord have mercy. Is that everything from the episode?
Girl, I would just, you took the words right out of my mouth. I think we've discussed everything in the episode, I believe. Oh, I'm curious to know what Aaron was going to say to Miss Lisa about his feelings, about what he's feeling.
Is this for the preview?
No, no, this happened on the episode. He was like, they were talking in the kitchen, and he was like, I'm being there for Karen, but my feelings about this, and he was like, you know what, like it doesn't even matter. I'm like, no, bro, what were you about to say? How are you feeling? Because we never know how you're feeling. We never
At
know
this
what
point,
you're
I kind
thinking.
of
We
want them
we
to
never
keep it that
know.
way, Allie, because I feel like they're going to do him a disservice.
You know what I thought they were gonna say, and I was gonna cuss Maggie out if I could find out. I probably would personally send her something. So I'm glad you're right, because this is what I thought Aaron was gonna say. I know that Karen is going through it, and my feelings about this is, I wonder if she would respond it this way if Zach baby would have lived. And I hate that I even have to say that, but because I can't stand these writers and because I know these writers can't stand Karen, I know they would make Aaron say that. And that's where I thought he was going. So you're right. Aaron, shut up, baby. Don't even utter those words. Because Maggie, if that's where you going, sis, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you. Because I think that's where y'all was going. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sade Foster said if any woman participated in the making of
A
this
woman
episode,
wrote
I am
it.
telling this a woman. She wrote it, boo.
A woman wrote it.
She wrote it.
And last week's episode was written by a man. Surprise, surprise.
And did a marvelous job.
Child. I do want to see more from Aaron, but I also want to see more from Aaron from unbiased eyes.
Yes. Yes. And I
Because
think
I
that's
hear
one of the
you, and
things too,
like I think
sis.
that that's what would be said, but specifically because the writers are listening too much to the audience, I feel like Aaron as a character that we
Yes.
know would never say that, but that's what the audience wants to
Correct.
see Aaron say because they want Karen to continue to hurt and they want Karen's life to be a
Mm-hmm.
facade. They want this man loving Karen deeply to be a facade or unconditionally to be a facade. I want more from Aaron and more time and more space, but I want them to want to do Aaron and Karen's love story justice. Otherwise, y'all can continue as y'all are. That's fine.
Yeah.
I would rather him not say
Yeah.
anything if y'all gonna have him say something. Then, yeah.
I totally agree. And I think there's so much to be said about excuse me, the women who write these episodes that are coming from a biased position. It floors me how Karen's character has gone through so much, and the way that it is being displayed, that it's almost as if she doesn't deserve happiness.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't deserve an authentic presence in her life to love her the way that she desires to be loved. But we feel that, not we, I'm just saying, they feel that Zach and Fatima, they feel like Zach deserves that. It's
Mm-hmm.
one of the most treacherous things I've ever watched, like I've ever seen happen. The fact that it's like we just want this woman to suffer. We don't want her to know nice things. We don't want her to have love. We don't want that for her. But Zach and Fatima are, is where it's at. And it's the writer's fault.
Yeah.
And how they have compromise when it comes to this who people ship or who they like or who they have made the it couple on this show has been so disappointing. And I think when that began to happen, my love for the show began to dwindle because I could see where it was going.
Yeah.
And it wasn't needed. Like it just wasn't, it was so much story to be told. And it just wasn't needed. I remember someone asked this last week and they asked did I feel that they were going to have Fatima be pregnant, excuse me, for as long as Karen. And I said, of course not. They're not going to do that. They're going to give Fatima everything. Karen lost her baby girl with Zach. Of course, Fatima's going to be pregnant with a girl. Of course. Of course. I mean, that's just what they do.
Yep.
That's just, it's just what it is. It ain't going to never change. Yeah, it ain't going to
Unfortunately.
never change.
Um, Fatima's out here overshadowing the whole story on the show. Yep. While also having the weakest storyline, if any at all, because her
If any
storyline
at
is
all.
always other characters. Child, I can't. Y'all, I think that's pretty much it from this episode. I think we touched upon everything, but I can't be
Literally.
sure. Because again, I barely
Literally.
remember the damn episode. It's sad because now I'm gonna have to go back and I'm gonna have to pay attention when I'm watching this damn episode, so I don't gotta watch it twice because I didn't do my review before I got on here.
And can I tell you, that's why I try to be intentful when I watch it because I don't want to see it again. Like I don't want to. And like if I have to go back and review like a certain scene, I did fast forward through the Fatima and the dude in the conference room and all of that. But I'm like, I don't want to watch this episode again. Like last week episode, I think I watched a majority of it a second time.
Me too.
It used to be when Sistas came on, I used to like watch it when it came on, and I would watch it multiple times.
Yep, me too.
I can't tell you the last time I literally said, I think, like I said, last week episodes, I thought it was a really good episode. That excluding that, I don't remember the last time I actually watched an episode full out more than once. I don't remember the last time I did that. I am so disinterested. But I'm here,
But we're
I'm
here.
present, we're present. We're here. I think that, and I will say this, I think Erica and I do a great job when it comes to sometimes we have watched some episodes and it's like, what the hell was that?
Mm-hmm.
Like what did we just watch? And I think that also we have been sitting with this show for 6 years. So I think it shows the growth in us as people because that's 6 years of our lives,
Mm-hmm.
that we have been reviewing this show, 6 years of our lives that we have been growing as individuals. Same thing with y'all. And some of the things that some people may have found entertaining, 6 years ago, it's not entertaining now.
Mm-mm.
It's like, oh, we still on this? Oh, it's been 6 years for us, but it's probably been what a good year for them. We got to do better. They got to do better. 6 years of our lives have only equated to maybe one with their particular life on this show,
Mm-hmm.
and it, yeah, yeah. Mhm.
Well, y'all,
Mhm.
be on the lookout for the breakdown videos. Allie has been really great with the trailer breakdowns. If you haven't subscribed already,
Check that.
check her out at Allie Nick Official on everything. Thank y'all so much for joining us for another conversation with our Sistas Keeper. Hopefully, y'all are enjoying these lives. I think y'all are enjoying these lives.
Hope y'all enjoy it.
We will see y'all in the next one. Have a good night.
Good night, y'all.